Okay, so you want to import your own custom OBJ into Embergen so that you can apply these simulations onto your own custom object. So to do that, in the node graph, right click, go to shape, mesh, and connect the shape mesh to the shape on your emitter primitives. Now let's select the default shape primitive and delete it. Now go ahead and select your shape mesh and let's import our own custom OBJ. So currently Embergen only allows you to import OBJ and FBX mesh data. We also can't import any animated meshes or any sort of animation data into the program right now. So we can only do static meshes, and something to keep in mind with whatever OBJ or FBX you're going to be importing into Embergen, make sure the polygon count is not very high, because you'll see there's going to be a button that appears here that's going to be called voxelize, and if you have a really high polygon count, it's going to take forever for the voxelization process to be completed. Anyway, let's import our own custom OBJ. I'm going to click on open mesh file, and I've already exported out an OBJ. So this is Susan from Blender, and I'm going to click on open. So here is the voxelize button I was talking about. As soon as I click on that, it voxelizes my mesh so that it can actually be used within Embergen, and I can see my 3D object over here, and the fire and smoke has now been applied onto a custom object. So you'll notice we've got our own custom parameters over here as well. So we can choose to move the position of our character, and this is also where we can animate certain values. So we can change the scale and size of our mesh. And remember that our mesh is still contained within a bounding box. So you just click on show limits to see your bounding box. That's why sometimes maybe if you're scaling this up, you'll be wondering why your mesh is being cut off like this. It's because it's contained within a bounding box, and you can increase the size of the bounding box just by going to simulation and increasing the voxel count over here on the X, Y, and Z and clicking on apply new resolution. So I'm going to select the shape mesh again and just decrease the scale. Okay, and I notice with the thickness collision, if I decrease this value, it's almost like I'm controlling how much of this fire is visible on my mesh. And if I actually want to see the mesh within my 3D workspace, I just need to click on Emitter, scroll down to the bottom and click on Show Emitter. Now I can actually see my imported mesh in Embergen, and I can choose to change the color over here. But honestly, I don't think the colors really matter that much in Embergen. We're mainly just using Embergen to get that simulation to be applied onto our object. So the object is basically a placeholder in the program. Okay, so now you know how to do this. If I go back to Shape Mesh and I increase the thickness collision, you can see I get a lot more of the fire and smoke simulation present on this object, and Susan is completely engulfed in flames. Poor Susan. But yeah, this is how you do it. It's really simple, and remember you can import an FBX as well. So if I wanted to, I'll just click on open mesh file, and I've got an FBX over here of a Yeezy sneaker, and then I just click on voxelize. So this one has a little bit more polygon counts than Susan, and you can see the voxelization process just took a little bit more time to complete the process. But we've got our shoe in our scene, so now we can have these burning sneakers. Maybe creating a simulation with burning shoes, or whatever you plan on burning. That's completely up to you guys. But yeah, and then obviously you can go through and adjust these parameters over here, have fun, see what you can come up with. Right, play around with all of these sliders, but that's how you'd import something custom into Embergen. Okay, so that is exactly how I imported this custom skull into Embergen, and then I was just playing around with the simulation until I came up with something that looks really cool. I animated the position of the skull. I showed you how to do that over here, and you can add keyframes and all of that. If you watch my previous video where I just do a brief introduction, I cover the timeline over here and how to create animations. But if you're watching this, you probably know how to use Embergen already, or at least you have a little bit of knowledge and you just wanted to figure out how to import your own mesh. So this is exactly how it's done. Go out there, have fun, burn everything, make it look awesome, become an arsonist. Okay, you probably shouldn't become an arsonist, but just have fun in the program, guys. Anyway, stay tuned for some more videos and tutorials. I truly appreciate the support on this channel, and goodbye.